Thank you so much, Carrie. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. It's the Now Morning Show. We have the spotlight this morning. We're chatting with the former Chief Secretary of the THA and the leader of the One Tobago Voice Party, Mr. Hochoy Charles. Good morning, Mr. Charles.
Good morning, my brother.
How are you doing this morning?
Good morning to the viewers and those who are only listening.
Nice. So we're talking Tobago autonomy bills. Today is the deadline date to submit any changes or any suggestions for changes towards the bills. Have you submitted anything?
First of all, let me ask, get to lay a foundation, or wow. You're hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
All right. First of all, you have to know, you yourself, I would have to know. Do you know what is in the bill?
Well,
when you ask me about changes, you don't even know what is there. We have to find out what is in the bill.
But
then I will tell you what changes are required and whether I submit.
But Mr. Charles,
we have been discussing this, Tobago. I don't want to keep you long, but we have been discussing this matter for a long time.
We have.
And I hear people starting the center to have a conversation, and they don't know what is in the bill. Anyhow, you want me to have to go ahead? Go ahead. You ask me again.
Well, they have. It's two bills. It's two bills we have, right? Yeah, two bills we have in front of us, right? The self-governance bill and the autonomy bill, right? And basically, people were saying that they don't find that there's enough independence of Tobago. There's not enough chance for Tobago to be able to do what it wants to do, right? There's not enough. The nautical miles was one of the sticking points. But there were a couple of I think it was 6 of the points that were sticking points. I'm trying to find the exact thing here, because you know the bill, Mr. Charles. The bill has been available for people to see.
Let me lay the foundation for you very quickly.
All right, foundation, come on.
The foundation quickly, and this is what all of us must understand, that there is a constitution for Trinidad and Tobago, and the constitution says that that constitution is the supreme law of Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
And if you pass any law that is contrary or inconsistent with this constitution, that law that you pass, to the extent of the contrariness or the inconsistency, is void and of no use.
Right.
Right now, the constitution says that only the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago can pass laws, make laws. And you know what law is? Law is the tool for the implementation of government policy. Law, let me take out the mysticism from it. Law is actually government decision and the way that decision is to be carried out. That's all law is. So now, what we want to do in Tobago is that we want to do our day-to-day business. And I listened to you chatting with your co-host there, and you were quite right. We want to do certain basic things. We want to make sure that we could be able to do those things that are life and death to Tobago. Fix our water, fix our road, fix our land, do all that kind of stuff without anyone from Trinidad imposing those decisions upon us. But in order to do that, you have to have the lawmaking. And right now, the only place that can be done is in the Parliament of Trinidad.
Right.
So the constitution has to be amended.
But Mr. Charles, the bill says, one of the points of the autonomy bills is that THA has legislative assembly with powers to make laws, as long as the laws don't contradict the laws of Trinidad and Tobago.
You tell me what I mean. That's the point I'm making.
It means that you can make laws that will benefit Tobago. But why is it that you think it's impossible to make laws that benefit Tobago without hampering the laws that exist for Trinidad and Tobago?
That's the point I am making to you, and if you listen to me carefully. Tobago cannot make any law that will affect you in Trinidad. All we want to make law in, and this is why I explained to you what law is. Law is decision to do something here in Tobago and the way that something is going to be done. So right now, you said I am lawmaking. You said that you will give me lawmaking. But what are you giving me lawmaking on? I cannot pass any laws in Tobago that will affect you in Trinidad.
But you can, though. If you wanted to, you can.
So I don't
if, for example, Mr. Charles
can make a law, I don't see how Tobago can make a law that is going to go contrary to a law in Trinidad.
If, for example,
I am making laws in Tobago that affect my water, Oh,
If
right.
you say to me that I need a visa to come to Tobago because you decide that in Tobago,
We can't pass laws on that.
but that's what I'm saying. Those are the type of
we
laws
cannot.
that they have to prevent against. So you have to make sure that we have Trinidad and Tobago at heart, right? Because you don't want secession.
Yes.
Or is that something that you want? You want to be independent and free of Trinidad?
No,
Exactly.
We are a sovereign democratic state.
Right, and everybody has agreed on that so far. Well, most people, right? However, you're saying to me that the laws that would affect your water or protection of the Boca Reef or...
How is that going to affect you in Trinidad?
Well, it won't, so what's the problem?
That's the issue. Only you know your parliament in Trinidad and your cabinet alone can do that.
Right now, but in this bill...
That's the point. Huh?
In this bill, right, in the bill that is before us, it says that Tobago will have the power to be able to make laws as long as those laws don't contradict.
Yeah, could you tell me, we are only going to be given power to pass laws on the things that only matter to Tobago. Immigration is a matter for Trinidad and Tobago. Foreign affairs, defense, all of those matters, coinage, all of those, we can't pass no law on those.
Right, so what's the issue?
How can we make a law? The law that we can pass is only on matters that relate to our social, economic, and cultural issues that affect Tobago. How could that contradict a law in Trinidad? That's the issue.
Right, but that's what I'm asking you. If the bill already says that you can do that without affecting the ones that affect Trinidad, what's the problem?
The bill doesn't say so. You alone can do that now. And all we are saying in Tobago, yes, give us our lawmaking, but it's only on these matters. And these matters that you are giving us lawmaking on cannot affect you in Trinidad.
Right, but the bill says...
our law in Tobago conflict with the laws of Trinidad?
But the bill is offering the THA, the Legislative Assembly, with powers to make laws. That's what the bill says.
On what?
On anything all they want to make laws on, as long as they don't contradict with the laws that exist for Trinidad and Tobago.
I am trying to help you. That's not so. That's
so what does the bill say then? What does the bill say you're allowed to make laws on then?
Pardon me?
What does it say that you're allowed to make laws on then?
If you check the bill that you have there, you will see them under some under the island government bill or something like that, under the Tobago Island government bill in the back, few items. And all we are saying is, since 1996, we were able to make decisions on certain matters, and they are in the Tobago House of Assembly Act right now, 40 of 1996, on a schedule that we call the fifth schedule. And all we are saying, let us now, give us now the power to make laws on those matters so that we can implement them. Because without law, we cannot implement public policy. That's all. So we can't pass no law on anything to do with foreign, on national security, immigration, citizenship. We can't pass no law on those matters. That's all we want to do. Because this is why I take out the mysticism from lawmaking. Law is the tool for the implementation of public policy. That's why sometimes cabinet make a decision, and if there is no law, they can't implement it. So they have to go to the lawmaking body, which is the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, so that the law could be passed so that they can do what they decide to do. And that is what I'm saying now. The Constitution as it stands. So the only place laws can be made, even on my water supply in Tobago and my electricity, is the Parliament. So that is why the Constitution has to be amended to now take that responsibility for these matters away from where it is in Trinidad and bring them to the legislature in Tobago. The matters are very clear.
Okay, so Mr. Charles, what I'm getting from what you're saying there is before we even deal with the autonomy bills, we have to change the Constitution.
Must.
Okay.
If you don't change that, we can't do it because the law would be contrary.
So then are we wasting time with this autonomy bill then?
Well, that is what it is. It's the amendments we are making now.
Right, but if you're saying that we make, even if we make the amendments,
that we are making now,
even if we make the amendments, right? Even if we make the amendments to the bill, right? You're saying that It
which
doesn't.
bill?
It doesn't. To the autonomy bills. It doesn't. It doesn't matter because we don't make the changes to the constitution.
That's what I'm. There are two documents before you, sir.
Yes.
There are two bills you have in your position.
Yes.
So the first thing we have to do is to now take those responsibility that is now being performed on these very life and death matter to the Tobagonians from where it is, because the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago alone can make this decision for Tobago. We now have to amend the Constitution to take those matters away from there and bring them into Tobago. You have to do that. If that is not done, the bill, the legislation that we have now at number 40 of 1996, leave it as it is. So you continue to make all the decisions about our life and death in Tobago. You're now getting the matter. And that's why you have to amend the Constitution first of all. Mm-hmm. And when that is done, then you now go to the island government bill to say this is how you are going to operate, because you now have the power to do it.
Okay, so who's leading the charge on amending the Constitution?
Pardon me?
Is that the charge that you're leading now? You're saying that let's fight to get the Constitution amended, do away with this whole autonomy bill, and you'll postpone that to later when we get the Constitution fixed?
Sir, the autonomy bill deals with two matters. You yourself have a problem, you know. The autonomy bills, follow me well, take your time in. The autonomy bills are two in it. It's two bills, you know.
Right, deal with self-governance bill and the autonomy bill, yes?
Hello.
The island...
Then one document, right?
Right, go ahead.
This is what I'm saying. You can't go to deal. The autonomy of Tobago must be in two bills.
Right.
The first bill is the amendment of the Constitution so that we don't do things contrary to the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago. And that is why the Constitution is being amended, and that you have that document in your hand there now. So we have to amend the Constitution now to take those things that you are now doing for us in Tobago, that Tobago must do for itself, and amend the Constitution to say no longer, as from now on, that Trinidad will make decisions on the water supply, the land, the cultural center, where you build a house, and so on. That is for Tobago. We're now giving them a legislature to do that. But the first thing you have to do is to remove that from the power from Trinidad and bring it to the legislature in Tobago. And then you set up the structure of the governance structure that will be able to deliver that to the people of Tobago.
And you think this is definitely the way forward, as in this is what Tobago needs? Not even what they want.
That is what the country agreed on over 40-something years, but you're giving us in pieces. So you give us a piece in 1980, the next one in 1996, and now is the final part that is left to be done. And that's why the Constitution is going to be amended to say, hey, you all going to make the decisions on these matters. The decisions you make are not decisions that will affect Trinidad at all, cannot affect Trinidad at all. It's only for the welfare of the people of Tobago. These important issues.
Okay. And you're saying that that's the direction that we need to go in firstly?
Yes, we still remain a sovereign democratic state consisting of the island of Tobago and the island of Trinidad.
All right. And this is what you...
Have you ever considered, finally, if there is a disaster in Trinidad that doesn't touch Tobago, let me don't pray for it to happen. If there's a natural disaster in Trinidad, whether it's a hurricane, a tsunami, and Trinidad is wiped out, and that disaster or hurricane, it didn't touch Tobago, you know we are dead. We are dead with you also. We can't even help you because of the fact that every institution of importance are controlled by Trinidad and is in Trinidad. And that is all self-government is dealing with. We're not breaking up the union. We are strengthening it, that in case something goes wrong with you, we are able to carry on our day-to-day business in Tobago and render you first assistance. That's all. Not breaking up anything, that people talking about secession and all kind of crap.
Yeah. But it seems it's interesting.
How would you feel if the structure of government was in Tobago, finally? If the structure of government was in Tobago, and it was in Tobago that we're making all the decisions to tell you where you must build a school or whether you can build it. Well, where you must control your water supply in Trinidad. I mean, this is all we're discussing,
Yeah.
You would not take that. No Trinidadian will take that from us. We're not affecting our citizenship. We're not affecting anything else. because you have a government of Trinidad and Tobago that is not going to be changed. You still have one prime minister, still have one president. But Tobago now will be responsible for those things that affect us in Tobago.
And as it stands right now, you're saying the bills can't do that without the amendment to the Constitution.
That's right. Because the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago says this, that it is the supreme law. If you pass another law that goes contrary to the Constitution, that law not good, null and void. And that is why you have to amend the Constitution to take that responsibility away from where it is now and bring it to Tobago. That's why the government decided, the parliament decided to give us our legislature and our executive council, like the cabinet, that will make these decisions in Tobago.
And that's what you need the amendment to the Constitution to say explicitly.
That's
say
right. Yeah, four important things. Because once you give us that power, right? Because you know what between Trinidad by the Constitution, Section 53 and Section 61. And then the cabinet is Section 75. They're now responsible for the whole of Trinidad and Tobago. So if you are taking away these matters and give it to us, you have to amend the Constitution to say so. And then once you give us that power, the question that you were talking about before about is limits or something, is the jurisdiction.
Yeah.
When you give us that power, we must know over what area in Tobago, because you know land has, island means land and water. Over what area, we're not breaking up the union, we're not dividing nothing, that we should be able to exercise the power you now give us. That's all.
You know, I think that's probably the best breakdown of it I've heard so far. So thank you very much.
It is.
Thank you very much for sharing it this way. I think now it's very clear in terms of what you're saying people of Tobago want. But there are other people who have been saying that Tobago wants something different.
Not true. Every time Tobago says justice, we say equality, we want to make our decision. You hear somebody from my sister island will shout out, is secede, they want to secede. So it's always a reaction of Tobago's cry for justice or equality or something like that. We're not about that. We are about, and that is why we prepared the bill and sent it down in Trinidad, you know, in 2016. We sent it down. And we sent it down, say we want to be Trinidad and Tobago, that must not change.
All right. Okay, well then we'll see what amendments are going to be made today when people submit. They have until today. I don't know if it will make a difference in terms of what you are suggesting, because if the Constitution doesn't change, then the bills still wouldn't be as effective as you would like them to be.
Well, the document before Parliament says that they want to change the Constitution, you know.
Okay.
That is what you have in your hand there.
Right.
That the Constitution must be changed. They have that there. So there's a Constitution Amendment Bill and then the Island Government Bill. So the two of them must happen. And we are saying that we must specify the matters that we are going to be responsible for in Tobago. We must specify those matters.
And you want that specified in the Constitution itself. And you want that specified in the Constitution change, yes?
Yeah, it must be there.
Okay.
You see what happened to us we have an experience in Tobago that you don't have. In 1976, this is what forced this thing, you know. In 1976, when Tobago voted for the first time, 2 seats. They didn't vote for the PNM at the time, they voted for the DAC, Mr. Robinson, Dr. Murray. You know, the whole administration was dismantled. And the people of Tobago said, look, we want a permanent structure. The permanent structure and system in Tobago remaining part of the nation, but we want a permanent structure where no one must have the power to dismantle it and create the havoc which was created in 1976. And you may remember that the motion for international government or for the autonomy that you talk about started in 1977. Yeah. That is what triggered it.
Okay. All right. Well, it's very clear. We've come a long way since then, but we want to go further. Yes?
We're just crystallizing it now, you know.
Nice.
So that, because right now, although we come a long way, but the way we have gone, all the decisions are still being made by you in Trinidad because the Constitution Amendment was not done to remove that kind of responsibility and bring it here in Tobago for the matters that are important to the Tobagonians. Not that will affect you in Trinidad. And that is why we have a difficulty when people say that any law that we pass in Tobago that is in conflict with the national law, that law that you pass must be subordinated. We cannot pass any law that will affect you in Trinidad. So why that should not even be in the Constitution.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Mr. Charles, and explaining this and sharing this and your take on it. I will see how it unfolds going forward. But I definitely hear you loud and clear, and I thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. And I'm saying that the amendments, the final amendments to the document, they are going to be received no later than today. The final one. We submitted already, you know. Okay. But there are one or two little things since the debate in Parliament. We have one or two little that we're now tidying up right now. It's completed already. It will be done to Trinidad today. All the parties in Tobago met, and we are going to be sending a position down.
Fantastic. Make sure they get it in earlier. Don't send it too late.
Yes, they will. They will receive it.
All right. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, my brother. God bless you.
Yeah, man. Same to you. Well, that's Hochoy Charles. They're the former chief secretary of the THA and the leader of the Tobago One Voice Party. And he's saying, let's amend the constitution properly so that we can give Tobago what it is that they need. We'll see what the amendments say as we receive them today. The 15th of July is the deadline for the amendments to the Constitution and the Tobago Island Governance Bill.